Well, just about 36 hours after the biggest decision in cable news happened, a bunch of us are still kind of scratching our heads over it. The top-rated primetime host in the nation, Tucker Carlson, gone. Top-rated weekend evening host, Bongino, gone. All of this in the wake of Laura Trump, Lou Dobbs, and a litany of other people who supported Trump. Well, is this a Trump purge, or is this a powerful conservative purge, or is it something much deeper? Now, Tucker once said on his own network that the media is controlled by a very small group of people who don't represent the rest of America. Almost something you would see in like a Simpsons episode. A group of fictional characters huddled around a large round table making decisions for us little folk. But is it too far-fetched to actually believe this? I mean, there's seemingly no explanation to date for the departures of most of these folks because the media overlords aren't beholden to anyone. But looking beyond those who own the networks, the people who own the distribution can have you vanish. We saw this. It's the same thing that overlords went and kicking and screaming when Elon Musk bought Twitter because it's a channel of distribution that they no longer had control over. Dissent amongst the narrative used to be the journalistic standard. Now it's become an ostracizing characteristic depending on who you work for. The First Amendment is literally in place to protect freedom of speech, the press, assembly, and the right to petition the government for a redress of grievances. But is the freedom of speech from our press protected? I don't know. Ask Tucker Carlson. Increasingly progressive places like Fox, places that for the last 2 decades have dominated the media cycle under the guise of defending your rights. They're making sure that they set the standard for what is acceptable speech now. And it's important to note that when our founding fathers warned us about this, society had not seen free dissent. And that's why they put it in the Constitution. Because a society that is not free of dissent is enslaved. Newsmax correspondent John Glasgow is live in the newsroom with more on this. John, what are you hearing about these new developments?
Well, Carl, speculation swirling, but still no clear reason why Fox fired its biggest star. Tucker pulled in more than 3 million viewers a night. The news clearly caught him off guard, too. Signing off on Friday's show, eating a pizza on set, appearing to have no idea that the axe was coming Monday morning. Tucker's exit, shocking viewers and critics alike. Some point to the Dominion voting system's lawsuit for his dismissal. Fox settled that a week ago for nearly $800 million. Tucker's show and his text messages appeared multiple times in that lawsuit. Fox now facing another defamation lawsuit with Smartmatic. Another theory, Fox News dropping Carlson ahead of more legal troubles. However, the LA Times is reporting Tucker's exit could be related to a discrimination lawsuit from a former producer, Abby Grossberg. Now, she's alleging Tucker's team bullied her and made anti-Semitic comments. None of those have been proven, but other reports suggest that Tucker's coverage of the January 6th attack was the last straw. On Sunday, former Trump supporter Ray Epps told 60 Minutes Carlson ruined his life. Tucker claimed that Epps worked for the FBI and helped incite the riots. Either way, Fox is done with Tucker, shocking even former President Trump, who said this on Newsmax last night.
I'm shocked. I'm surprised. He's a very good person, a very good man, and very talented, as you know, and he had very high ratings. So we're just learning about it almost as we speak. You and I just said, wow, that was something. That's a big one.
So one thing is clear. The firing wasn't a business move. It cost Fox News a lot of cash. On Monday, Fox Corporation lost more than $500 million in market value. For now, a rotation of hosts will fill Tucker's time slot. Carlson has yet to say anything publicly, and some of his supporters suggest that he should even run for president in 2024. But if Carlson goes to another network, the question, Carl, is will the viewers follow?
John, it's going to be interesting to see where he lands next. John Glasgow, appreciate it.
You're welcome.
Well, for more, the host of the Trish Regan Show and the editor-in-chief for TrishIntel.com, Trish Regan herself. Appreciate you joining me, Trish.
Hey, good to see you, Carl.
So you know a thing or two about the culture over there, and we're still sitting here scratching our heads like, why would Fox cut down their money tree?
You know, look, yeah, I know a thing or two. I mean, I don't have any specific inside knowledge about this situation per se, but I think you bring up a very good point. And you kind of wonder, did they not learn their lesson from Bud Light? Look, any way you slice it, whether you love him, whether you hate him, Tucker Carlson was their key player. He's all that mattered, frankly, you know, in the scheme of things. And he had a lot of leadway, a lot of carte blanche to do what he wanted. And so they did what they could always to protect him. So I am stunned. I am shocked that this happened. And then I look at it, you know, the business reporter in me looks at it from a financial standpoint. And I question, again, why they would do this. If they've invested so much in him, so much in that time slot, why would you take your key star and throw him to the curb? I mean, it doesn't make a lot of sense. I was just looking at the stock, which was down again today. It was down yesterday. I think that investors are a little concerned or a little bit nervous. And it's kind of funny because they were fine ahead of the Dominion settlement. I mean, you look at the stock price over the course of the last month before this news came, and the company was doing just fine. So I think there's a lot of concern that they may not be able to fill that void. And don't forget, I mean, viewers, they're so upset. I was scrolling through Instagram today, and it was like all these people were posting pictures and memories of Tucker. It was like he had died. I mean, they were really that upset. Yeah. And Fox can't underestimate that, right? People feel like they had a connection to him. They saw him at 8 o'clock every night. I used to be on Fox Business at 8 o'clock every night. I also remember scratching my head and saying, what is this about? When I got that same sort of, we're parting our ways. And I felt bad for the viewers who were like, gosh, you know, we miss you. We miss tuning in. And so what Fox is going to need to do, Carl, they're going to need to figure out how to make amends with those viewers who feel like they were robbed of their most favorite person.
Right. Well, Trish, but, you know, and this would be speculation on both of our parts, but, you know, in your opinion, do you think this is tied to the Dominion lawsuit? Because, like, look, losing Tucker on top of the Dominion lawsuit, it cost them like another 1.5 Dominion lawsuits. They still have Smartmatic. Do you think this is some sort of quiet, behind-the-door handshake deal to get him off the network?
You know, I thought about that, and that's come up, but I'm telling you, those lawyers aren't going to give up a dime. Right. Yeah. Like the Dominion lawyers, and the Dominion company, the private equity firm that runs it. Let's not forget, they all want to make money. They're in this for one reason only. And I know that, you know, we think, well, maybe there's a loftier goal. They really don't care about Fox, trust me. So I don't think that theory totally plays out. I think perhaps there's something else. I mean, who knows, right? All those emails were there. We've only seen a certain amount. Right. What if Tucker was super critical of his bosses? Again, I think his bosses would be sort of thick-skinned enough to be like, okay, well, who cares? He's making us a ton of money. Trish, and I think that money ultimately really does drive this. But one question you might ask, what about the cable providers themselves? What about the big cable companies that are sitting there going, well, we don't like the idea of this guy on the air as we go into 2024. I mean, it's one thing to consider. But as for whether Dominion did a backroom deal, I doubt it, because if they had a shot at getting 1.6 billion or even 1 billion, you take it.
Well, we will see. Trish Regan, host of, editor at TrishIntel.com.
Trish Regan Show.
Yeah, Trish Regan Show. Appreciate you being here.
On Apple Podcasts.
Yes, ma'am.
See you soon.
All right.